Thanks for taking time to nurture yourself today. This practice is intended to release tension, pressure, heaviness in your pelvic and hip area, taking the stress of gravity off and intentionally softening and breathing and releasing. So, knowing that's my intention, bring your hands to your heart and set an intention or say a prayer to dedicate this practice. Good. Relax your hands down. Now you will want to have some yoga bolsters, the softer the better, or a lot of pillows or blankets, so as many as you can gather. And then go ahead and pause this video and come back. You'll also want to be close to a wall. So 2 things, pillows and blankets, so you can have kind of a stack and a variety of heights, and also a wall. So we'll start out on our backs. Bring your hands to your belly. Feel a beautiful expansion with every inhale and a slow, sweet release with every exhale. As your diaphragm moves down with your inhale, you want to feel an expansion through your rib cage all the way around, as well as the widening through your waist, your lower back, your belly. Let's do one more full breath here. Filling up from your shoulders to your hips and very slowly releasing. Now stretch your arms out to the side, and with your feet as wide as the mat, maybe a little wider, rotate your knees to one side. As you exhale, come back center. Now you don't have to be on a yoga mat. I'm just used to saying that for my classes. You can just be on the floor. But your feet a little wider than your hips will help you get a little bit more into this internal rotation here. You just want to release what most of us will have a little bit of tension to start with, especially if we sit a lot and we're not on the floors all day. If you get to be a yoga teacher, yoga therapist all day long, you may not have tension here, but many of us do. Let's do one more breath here. Gentle, easy unwinding, no intention to go any distance. Good. Now we're going to go to a pose called puppy pose, but we're going to do it supported. So this is where I really need you to have a lot of blankets, a lot of pillows or bolsters to stack. And if you're on a mat, this may be one pose you want to get off. And you may want to, if you're on hard floor, cushion your knees, because we'll go into a combination of a frog pose, which is wide knees, and the puppy pose. You can also do this easily on a bed. So keep this in mind if you're ever traveling and you have a hotel room and maybe you've been going all day and been in cramped spaces and around other people, and you get to the hotel room and you're like, oh, I don't feel good through here. So hopefully your hotel room has lots of pillows and you can create this support. So you want to have this underneath your pelvis so that you can really release down, your knees wide, so that you're not holding on to anything. You're just allowing yourself to feel fully supported. And you rest your head down wherever it lands and it feels good. If needed, put extra support underneath your forehead. And we breathe. Belly breathing. And then coming just to a softness. And we will stay here several minutes. So I want you to feel good if you feel like you're not, even or you're not fully supported. I do recommend you have your pubic bone on the support if that feels good, or it may be for you. You want that off. But try to feel even right to left. No pain, nothing tense. Feeling supported, and you may already feel tension, feel a little bit of soreness, as long as it doesn't increase with this. And then as we stay Hopefully you'll feel a powerful shift with the release. So I'll be quiet. You simply go deep within, yielding and surrendering. Just a little longer. One more breath. Now press yourself up, bring your knees, your legs to neutral. Cat cows might feel good, or you may be ready right away to go to the next pose. Now the next pose, by the way, if you found that was really beneficial for you, you found a great release, stay longer. Maybe do it a couple times a day. You can also do a half frog supported puppy too, which would just look like one leg out to the side and one leg straight coming down, just doing something like this for maybe 5 minutes. You could also put, if you're not comfortable with all that weight on your head, it's definitely okay for you to just more straddle like this and give yourself a little bit more support on the way down. But there's the definite benefit to having your pelvis up higher with gravity and your release down. Now the next poses are going to be using the bolsters and the wall. So I'm going to show you when you can use that. You can definitely use with a chair or a couch. That's my favorite thing to just, or even your bed. If you have no space really and you just need to retreat to your bedroom, lay down next to your bed and put your legs up on your bed. Even if it's not perfectly supported for your legs, just make it work. So this is a pose here that you can use a recliner or a couch or an ottoman and bring your knees up wide and support your lower legs. You can also have the legs more straight. And it's okay if your legs are floating too, your heels are floating. Sometimes that's so delightful. So from here, it does feel nice to have your hands over your low belly, sending some love, some assurance and affirmation to this area, some gratitude, giving thanks for all that this region of your body does for you, all the support, all the strength, all the gifts. One of these sweet, simple poses that's all about releasing and letting go. Deceptively simple, because a lot of times with yoga we still think we have to do. We have to force, we have to do more of the yang, the active, masculine, forceful energy. But there's a lot to yin, to releasing, receiving, letting go. As though breath is just being breathed into you by God. He's sending His loving light, His healing. And you are simply resting and receiving, trusting that He will give you everything that you need. Now, there isn't really like a magic number for how long to hold these poses. I like to hold them until I feel a shift where maybe there's no more change, because initially maybe I'll feel that tension or that congestion or heaviness, or maybe you feel pain. And you wait until you feel a degree of softening to where you feel like there's no more change happening. Or of course, if you're uncomfortable, you come out. Now, I'd like for you to do from here is scoot over with your body if needed, if you're at a piece of furniture, or scoot your props over so that you can have one leg straight and then one leg still supported. And don't worry if your pelvis kind of rocks one side to the other, that's okay. Your hands can still be on your low belly or over your hips, or you can have your arms out to the side. That breath rising and falling, coming and going like an ocean wave. Every breath soft and gentle, slow and sweet. Maintaining your intention for this area through your hips and pelvis. Being aware of any softening, almost like a melting, a dissolving of tension. Releasing it down as it's going down to the earth to be reabsorbed. And you're breathing in that lightness from God, vitality, refreshing. going to go ahead and switch on over to the other side. So other leg straight down, other leg supported where you feel good. Get the rest of your body comfortable. If you're getting cold, hopefully you have an extra blanket nearby. Sometimes I just like to wear sweatshirts and hoodies or sweaters, and I love to have cozy blankets by me when I'm doing restorative or yin, because our body naturally cools when we start to relax. So back to this yielding, surrendering, letting go. And your breath with that energy, that life force energy. No force, no intention to be working at all with the breath. You're simply aware and surrendering as though God is pouring His breath into you and filling you up with His Holy Spirit. And every exhale, feel it releasing out and around you, bathing you in peace and love. Another breath or two. Now bend up both your knees. Strong belly, bring your knees to your chest. Maybe you rock side to side, elongating through your lower back. We have one more big pose that really helps release tension here. And there are two ways to enter it. So I want you to just watch me first before you go into it for the first time to decide kind of which one's more the adventure you want to do today. When you do this, you want to protect your neck. So I wouldn't want you to be watching a video and turning your head with this. So I'm going to show you, if you have a difficult time getting to legs up the wall, if you're a little bit more inflexible, which many of us are, especially if you haven't practiced yoga for years, or maybe your core isn't as strong as maybe you'd like to be, then you'll want to enter from this way probably. So you get into a legs up the wall pose like this, where you're equal, and you want to be close, like almost too close. And then you bring your bolster in, or a folded blanket. You can totally use a folded blanket or a pillow. You keep your neck neutral, so do not lift your hips if your head is turned to the side. Lift up and slide the bolster underneath your pelvis, and then release your legs up. And then what I like to do, because I feel kind of bunched up here, so I'll lift up my shoulders and get longer, and then lift up my head. So I'm always wanting to stretch out, stretch out. If there's slack, stretch it out. So this is good here. You can also open up here or here. So as you get kind of into the pose a little bit, take time to simply rest with legs straight up, Baddha Konasana, or this open wide-legged pose. Now the other option to enter this pose, and I'm going to scoot over a little bit because with that wide angle I was, I think, a little too close there. Now with restorative poses like this, you really want to be comfortable. So this is where I tell my students in classes, be high maintenance. Really, how often are you taking this much time to take care of yourself? Get your props set up so that you're going to be super comfortable. Sorry. So this creates a little bit more of a waterfall step down. This is soft, this one's a little more firm, but it's going to allow more of a release. So I'm going to test it out and see, and if it's not good, I won't do it. But this will be easier for me to enter if I enter with just a little bit more of an adventure. So really close to the wall, tuck my arm and roll up. And then it does take a little bit of kind of adjusting here. So this is a little bit more for somebody with a stronger core. And then releasing back down and determining with your cascading down. See, my bolster here is too firm. So I'm gonna go ahead and release down like this. So I like to have elbows still connected on the floor and shoulders touching. So resting, shoulders down, elbows down, and you're in this supported inversion. You can even stack up more into your hips if you'd like. Make this work for you. And we'll be here several minutes to allow gravity to release any kind of heaviness through your pelvis, that low back, your hips. Feel a sweet, gentle release here. Now, this should have helped you relax very deeply. Now, if you feel amazing, you are totally welcome to stay here. But those of you who need a shorter practice, let's gently come out. So if you have just the one bolster underneath your pelvis, it's really easy to just have your knees a little bent, both heels on the wall, and keeping, again, your head in neutral. Lift up your hips, keeping your lower back long. Release that bolster away to the side, and then allow your hips to release down to the floor. And take a few breaths, letting your spine settle before you come up to a comfortable seat. There's no hurry, no rush. If you're able to take time for a shavasana, where you just stretch out fully on your back, even if you need a bolster under your knees, it'd be wonderful to take time to just release like that as well. So wherever you're at, bring your awareness or your hands to your heart and recall your personal prayer or intention. And give God thanks today for all of your blessings. May God bless you, my friend. Namaste.